Rwanda isn't a well-known place. Not many have heard that Rwanda may soon become the center of wireless internet for all of Africa, nor do they know of their significant increase in primary school attendance. Some, although not nearly enough, know of the tragedy of the Rwandan Genocide.
Genocide is the policy of deliberately killing a nationality or ethnic group.
In Rwanda, the killing was done by a group called the Hutus to another group called the Tutsis. Though many people consider them two separate ethnic groups, they share a lot of similarities. They speak the same language, they have similar cultural traditions, and they intermarry. The difference is that Hutus are agricultural people and Tutsis are elite cattle owners. Hutus are short and square, while Tutsis are taller and thinner. Violence erupted after the plane crash that was carrying both the Rwanda and Burundi presidents. Shortly after, Hutu people rampaged through Rwanda, killing over 1 million Tutsis. The Interahamwe, who is a militia group, also was responsible for the killing, and ordinary Hutus were responsible as well, and the killing went on for 100 days.
In May 2003, 93% of Rwandans voted for a new constitution that made their government much more equal and outlawed inciting ethnic hatred. Paul Kagame was elected president in 2000. Conditions in Rwanda improved greatly. Kagame has been strict on crime, income has doubled, life expectancy has increased, and almost half the population of children are attending primary schools.
This tragic event hurt everyone from farmers to priests. Anyone could turn their backs on anyone just because of what their ethnicity was. The word discrimination means unjust treatment to people or things. The Tutsis were haunted by the Hutus losing everything, their homes, families, cattle, and even their peace. This is discrimination at its worst, terrorizing each other because of our race.
One prisoner, a convicted killer, was asked how he could kill a man who, quote, helps pay for his children's school fees, end quote. The prisoner only replied, quote, because he was a Tutsi, end quote. If this genocide was so terrible, people are asking, why would people let this happen? And why isn't anybody doing anything to stop violence again? And that answer lies in everyone.
I'm here with Paige Duncan, and she's a freshman at Sora Junior High, and we're talking about discrimination in our world today. So, have you ever been discriminated against?
I don't know. Well, when I first moved here, I know that I didn't have any friends. I didn't make any friends because they thought I was emo or goth. And I really just thought that was weird because I'm not, and I think I have a pretty good personality. I have a lot of friends now and they like me, so why didn't anybody like me when I first got here?
We're with Jasmine Rogers, a freshman from Stillwater Junior High School, and we're talking about discrimination in our society. So Jasmine, there is hatred and discrimination in our country and in our school. Why is this happening and what can be done about it?
Well, I think that other people sometimes, to make themselves feel better, they might dish on somebody else and make them feel bad about themselves, and it kind of gives them power. But if other people just stand up for them, then...
I'm here with Aunt Lee. He's my cousin, and he went to Rwanda on a mission trip a couple years ago. And we're going to ask him some questions. How do you think we can stop something like this from happening again?
Well, I think what's unique about Rwanda is that they're very much about keeping the genocide in view of their country. They don't want to forget about it. There are memorials everywhere for every county that Rwanda has in its country. There is at least one official memorial from the 1994 genocide, and they each vary, but a lot of them have sites where some of the victims are buried, and some of them have walls of just names of people that were killed, much like the walls that they have in Washington D.C. of the victims of all the wars that the U.S. has been in. So there's one memorial that I remember specifically, and I have a picture of it if you need made it. There was a church where these guys came in and just during the church service and locked all the doors and killed all but 6 people that were in the church. And today the church still stands. They don't have service in it anymore, but it serves as a memorial. And all the pews and all the benches and stuff, there are just piles of just raggedy clothing that all the victims were stripped naked. I mean, it was a very it was more than just killing. It was all about the humiliation, and it was just terrible, awful things. But they have clothes piled up on all these benches. There are bullet holes in the ceiling. There are still blood stains in some areas of this church, and all of it's being watched over by one guy that still lives in the area. He was one of the 6 people that lived from that massacre. He stayed in the area and looked after it, and he tells the story every day. Once you forget that those type of things happened, you risk having it again. So they're very much into the idea of they know that it's a bad part of their history, but it's a part of their history nonetheless, and they don't ever want to forget it.
Discrimination happens every day, in school, at work, in social life, and in terrible cases like this.
Discrimination hurts people every day, every minute. Why isn't the world learning anything?
Because people aren't listening. Though millions of people are putting forth their efforts to stop discrimination, the world isn't changing. People hear, but not on a deeper level. We hear about problems all over the world, but they don't impact us.
After hearing of such horrible events, we turn right around and discriminate, maybe without even knowing it.
If we all took some time to help others, the world would be a better place for all of mankind.
There are people dying when it's time to lend a hand to life. The greatest gift